Hey everybody! So I've got some juicy wisdom for you. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do for this video. This is for all of us. You may have noticed I've been posting a few client sessions. I've got more to post. I've been kind of on the fence about it because I've got my Abbey Psychic Services channel and I've been posting client sessions out there for a while. And something's kind of guiding me to get to the original tree here and maybe bring it all back together again so you can find everything in one place. So yeah, I'm gonna create a thumbnail that you'll be able to recognize. That's a client session thumbnail, and then some kind of abstract thumbnail is probably what I'm gonna do for when I make a video that we can all, enjoy together. And be sure to check out the client sessions because I swear you just listen to those things and there'll be something in there for you too, because we're all connected. That's why I share client sessions. Because I want to help people. If you can't book a session with me, maybe there's a client session I've shared that might be able to help you with your specific issue. I'm also on Patreon, so consider joining. I'd love to have you as part of the community. I'll put links in the description for booking sessions and Patreon, so just check there. So yeah, I've got some juicy wisdom. I've already done it. Yeah, we're talking about natural time, but it's more than just that. We're talking about abuse. I didn't know it was going to go there and getting stuck in it. We're talking about society. We're talking about how sometimes we go through hard things and we're silent about it, and how important communication is. And also sometimes we just simply don't know how to help. But if you were to pause and ask yourself, well, how can I help? Or how am I helping? And sometimes an answer will come up. If you give yourself the time, you have to just slow down, close your eyes and listen and tune into you and find out what's coming up to the surface. All questions that you've ever asked in your whole life or someone has asked of you, you don't have to answer right away. This isn't some kind of race here to know what an answer is. This is actually a deep get to know you moment in life, but obviously it's a juicy wisdom thing. So we talk about this in the journey. There's a lot of deep stuff to think about here and society to think about here. And I don't know if we know all the answers of how we can really make a difference and move what needs moved here. But it's worth discovering. I mean, this could be a time right now where you're transforming from the inside out and realizing something new about yourself, something new about your identity, some new way that you can participate in doing something different in the world. So yeah, just gonna say this little introduction. Hope you're all doing great. I'm gonna roll out the tape. Enjoy. All right, I'm putting it out to the universe like this. Hey universe, I would love some juicy wisdom for us today. Something we can really sink our teeth into here. And something that's very nurturing for the heart and for the soul, for the listener. So you're tapping into this video, you get the juicy wisdom today. So it's for you to receive juicy wisdom. I don't know why it's so delectable, but I'm really putting that out to the universe that it's like really delectable, like really good wisdom. And maybe there's something inside myself that's like, I want something fresh and new. What's some good, juicy wisdom? Come on, universe. Don't make it boring. And sometimes the most authentic truth is kind of stale. We need to like juice it up a little bit. But, the truth is that sometimes wisdom is kind of what it is. It's just starting to echo me saying this to the universe about the juicy wisdom. It's echoing this moment I had on my walk where I was thinking in my mind about the true representation of time here on planet Earth, like literally watching the grass grow. If you take walks regularly, you'll notice in the winter and then the spring and in the summer and in the fall that plants are always changing. And obviously you're going to notice it the most from winter into spring and then spring into summer. You're going to notice the tiny little buds become full, in bloom, lots of leaves, things are growing. And then the blooms change and different weeds pop out of the ground. And for 2 weeks, you'll see these ones. And then for 2 weeks, you'll see these ones. And so nature really does change. And in a way, it changes right before your eyes, but it takes actual time for it to happen. And I get to feeling like the human race, we're speeding up in our behaviors, when really we need to slow down and remember how long it takes for the sun to rise and to set. How truly long it takes for things to actually happen in real natural time. We always want there to be something moving and grooving about life, always exciting, the next page turner. And it's just same day, same story. Or things are moving too slow. Or we want the juicy wisdom, but it might, I don't know, just be the boring, authentic truth. I'm not sure. For some reason, I'm supposed to say this right now. And so I'm just saying it. I'm gonna close my eyes. And let's see where the universe takes us here. Okay. So juicy wisdom, yes, this is for you, yes. Think about it. Natural time. Just think about it. All right, show us the first thing, universe. I see a person and they're definitely stuck, and it's just a weird picture. It's a female, and I see there's a road that kind of curves around, and then it goes into her throat, and it then goes through her throat, and it's cut off on the back side. It's almost like she's stuck in a mountain, and she's stuck with a road going through her throat. It seems like a train track, and a train's coming around the bend. And what does any of it mean? Is this the life she wants for herself, or is this the life she was forced to endure? Or this is the place that she just happens to be and she can't really be anywhere else? What is her existence about? A woman the size of a mountain stuck in a mountain with a road going through her throat, and it cuts off on the back of it. And so a train going through here is just going to fly off the side of the mountain. This road doesn't go any further. So I'm asked to explore this picture. I've described it for you. And explore what some of these details mean. And to do that, I just take my invisible hand here, and then I touch different things in the picture. And then when I touch the things, then it tells me stuff. So I'm going to pause for a minute. All right, this is harsh. I touch part of the mountain, and then simultaneously I'm touching the train track. And then simultaneously I'm pulled into another scene where there's this girl, and there's a hardship upon her, and I see her being abused by somebody. What's interesting is there are voices that say how strong she is to endure such treatment. As she lets this person actually beat her, so she's bruised and she's crying. But she has to keep standing up again. And her lesson here is what? Is it to say no? Is it self-respect? Is it endurance? Is it to leave? What if this is a teenage girl? What if this is her parents? Could be a mother, could be a father. Violence upon a child. Has to endure it. Might have to speak up about it. Might have to feel like the bad guy for speaking up. This is starting to showcase society as an abuser of people, as an abuser of children. Something starts to scream now in the background. invisible. You know, this gets me thinking. When I was maybe 14, maybe I was 15, maybe I was 16, then I was working a job, and I remember it was really, really sad. But you don't go to work and frown. You go to work and you smile and you're helpful. And I got to thinking, gosh, if anybody could really know how I felt, what would that mean exactly? Should I tell somebody I'm sad? Should I talk about it, or should I just be happy? I'm supposed to just be happy and then hide whatever this is inside myself? I don't understand it. It seems like everybody else maybe is fine, and maybe they're doing the same thing I'm doing. And maybe we're all hiding something. You know, maybe we're all really sad inside. We just want to smile because we want to live in a happy world. And so this Scream event, this girl beaten behind closed doors event, what is the lesson learned here? For the individual, is it for her to learn the lesson? Parents don't have to learn the lesson. No, the parents got to learn the lesson too. The girl's got to learn the lesson. Society's got to learn the lesson. But it's about voice. What about the silence? How dangerous is that? How truly dangerous. It takes so much courage to speak up, especially to speak up about something wrong. Makes you look like the bad guy when you're actually quite innocent. You don't want to hurt anybody. Then people are hurting you. Then what do you do about it? It's everybody's lesson. Everybody's lesson. This is the juicy wisdom. Yummy. It hurts my heart, to be honest. Communication is so important. Respecting each other is important too. Respecting ourselves, respecting others. Man, this is a message of the heart, but a message of the soul, a message of the voice. So why stuck in the mountain? Why the road that ends here? Why a train, you know? Why this exactly? More investigative work. I even step to the side and I say, what is it about natural time? Why was I inspired to even talk about that? It doesn't even seem to apply to this juicy conversation that hurts my heart. Maybe there's something to it. I don't know. All right, I'm going to pause for a minute. They asked me, how do I save her? Give me a minute. I don't know what my answer is to that yet. I gotta listen. So I'm gonna step aside for 1 second before I listen and then tell you what comes up inside myself. If you ever get asked a question, don't just immediately answer, okay? You need to stop and actually get to know what your real, genuine answer is. And if it's the ugly answer, but that's your real, genuine answer, you got to be true to yourself, okay? Maybe the answer isn't going to make other people feel very good about you. They might not like you for speaking from the heart. But you got to make sure that you are speaking the truth as best as you can tell what that is for yourself. Because people who genuinely love and care about you want you to speak from the heart, and then are going to give you room to be you. Aren't going to put a shackle around you. Aren't going to beat you down for that. And trusting the side step is about time. The natural time it takes to really know how to answer a question. This isn't a race, for God's sakes. You don't have to know the answer. Bam! What's the answer? Tell me! And I was like, wait a second here. I need a minute, okay? Just I need a minute. I don't know yet. I gotta listen to my heart for a minute. That's the most genuine answer you can provide. Sometimes it takes just a moment to really express it. So let me see what my answer is. How do I help her? I don't know yet, but I don't like answering with I don't know. I like answering with an answer, something, okay? So let me see. How do I help her? I'm going within right now. I see myself just looking at her and she's crying. It's like getting beaten down by... This is more than just a mom or a dad or a bully at school, or this is like society straight up too. This is a mob of people that are they're extremists in some way, and they won't accept anybody else's viewpoint but their own, and they're dangerous. It's very dangerous to become an extremist. You can tell if you're one of these types because you are so set that this is the only way that you would actually beat someone down mentally or emotionally, verbally, and degrade them. And you would have a right to do that. So if you find yourself doing that, stop and say, you know what, that's where they're at. This is where I'm at. It's not for me to hurt another person for their belief if it's different than mine. That has to stop. That has to stop, because we're all brothers and sisters. We're all family. So we get along, we don't get along. But something that's consistent about family is there's connection, there's love, there's working together, like it or not. We got to do our best here. We got to do better even. Take the time, okay, to get to know yourself. So I look at her and she's defeated, really. But this is her lesson, and while I can be compassionate, I almost have to be tough. Because she's letting herself be harmed by somebody. Why is she doing that? I say, why are you letting them harm you? She says, I don't have a choice. I have to let them harm me. Okay. Well, can you tell them no? Can you tell them this hurts you? If they don't listen, do they have to listen? What are things you can do to protect yourself? It's almost like getting clear. Getting out of an emotional defeated state, a shattered state. It's like rebuilding yourself, the building blocks of yourself. You got to get stronger, not weaker. And if this makes you weaker, you're going to have to confront it. If society is creating this beat down in some way, shape, or form, there has to be a self-realization in the population. And that includes me and you, everybody. And what is the most human way to be? And what is the most productive and supportive way to be? And we need to find that way. Somehow, some way, we have to find that way. We have to want to find that way. I want to find that way. So what can I do to help her? I still am not sure. So I don't know the answer yet. I'm taking the time to explore it inside myself. And I'm shown too that if you need to answer a question, you just don't know the answer, you can give yourself time. And we're not talking just, okay, hey, hold on, give me 5 minutes. I really don't know. I don't be pushy. Because I actually, when I answer this question, I want to answer from my heart, and I don't know yet. And maybe I need 2 weeks. Maybe I need a month. You know? So you can give yourself time to figure out what the answer is. You don't have to rush it. Okay, something in this message is talking about the human race and conflicts in society, and how there's a weird, like, inevitable, almost like circulation of time required for people to gather their perception, to gather their eyesight, to gather their heart, to gather their motivation or their spark to do it differently, to behave differently, to say something differently. And what they would have been, it's no big deal, it is a big deal, and I'm not going to put up with that anymore. It's like shifting your energy. Shifting energy because you're called to shift energy, but you don't know it yet. Because sometimes it takes time to realize there's a change happening inside of you, and you're part of a difference. You're part of a big difference. You're part of helping that girl then help herself. You're part of confronting abusive people, extremists. Okay, there's a really hard scene that I'm just going to articulate what it is. I see an innocent child that gets their parents in trouble, and their parents, because I always see two. I always see a mom and a dad, and they're always in the shadow. Then this child confesses something's not right at home. And now the look is towards the parents. And now the parents are getting exposed as bad people. This gets really muddied up, like genuinely abusive, okay? Or it's confusing because which one is abusive? Is it society that is distorting the viewpoint of what is loving parents versus abusive parents? Because there's strange bandwagons going on in society that are making parents look bad that are actually loving, supportive people. Children getting taken away. It's a confusing world. So there's serious distortions going on here about what is the truth, what is actually healthy, what is unhealthy. It's starting to like lightning bolt, like a flashing light, shadow, and these parents look like monsters. The child is really, really ashamed of themselves for speaking up. But all in all, no matter what, communication is important, even if it's a misunderstanding. And that's why the door always has to be open for inhale and exhale of learning and growth together. And what is truly abuse has to be nipped in the bud. It has to be exposed. It has to be, a finger has to be pointed at it. It has to become where the shame actually is. So if that's truly the case, there has to be an inhale and exhale of communication, love, support, understanding, reconciliation, but also protection. So I feel like this conversation is covering so many bases that I don't know how to articulate them all. So you can think about it. All right, I'm going to pause for a minute. And I tell the universe I don't like to say I don't know the answer. But in some regard, I'm working with time here. I'm working with this video here. I've been introduced to this. I don't know what to say. I just, other than to take the time to go in and explore what this means and talk about it. And so, in a way, my answer to how to help that girl is just to talk about it here with all of you, because I think together we solve problems. And some of us are great independently problem solvers, awesome independent problem solvers, and sometimes we need like a group of problem solvers. We work together. You know, I was watching a really cool short, and it was about how a single pencil is not made by just one person, because everything that goes into a single pencil, there's like thousands of people that come together to create it. Like, what made the saw that actually cut down the tree? What about the tree that was cut down, and how did it get crafted, you know, cut to pieces, and who hauled it? And it's like all these ways that we all work together to create some simple object. It's problem solving. It's working together as a family to make it a better world. I'm all about these conversations, but I'm also all about how do we do it? How do we get into action? Because I don't like just talking about things. I want to get into action about things, you know? But the best action I could take is just to do this, because this is what I can do, you know? That I'm not very good with tools, and I'm not very good with, you know, so like me building a house doesn't apply to me, okay? Me doing this, sitting in this chair, doing this journey applies to me, like, because this is what I'm good at, okay? This is what I do, so I could give this to society, to help society, so I can help this girl by doing this video and then sharing this with you guys. So that helps her, helps this conversation, helps society, shares the juicy wisdom. All right. Okay, so then what can you do to help this girl? What is the best that you can do to make it a better world? And it doesn't have, it can be indirectly, like we all are a domino effect. And some of us, the best we can do is just be great parents, work exhausting jobs. It just keep trying, one foot in front of the other. It just keep going, because we're supporting the economy. We're supporting our country, you know, by getting up, going to work. And then, you know, it is a weird kind of circulation and day-to-day life. You look at nature's like this. You look at the human race, and we're like this. And it's like, well, that's how the human race is right now. So we make the most of what we've got, you know? This is what we've got to work with. Let's make the most of it. If we can make it better, we'll make it better. And so what's the best that you can do to help that girl is maybe just keep putting one foot in front of the other to do the best you know how to do. And take the time to ask yourself the question, well, is there something more that I could do to help that girl, or to help this problem in society? You know? Is there something I could do? And then just be silent for a minute and see what comes up. It might be a surprise. It could be an answer you never heard yourself say to yourself before. All right, so is that it? That's like the juicy wisdom? Is that what I'm supposed to share today? That's it. I'm just supposed to share this, and then it's meant to be reflected upon. There's more than wisdom here. There's energy healing. Because here I am, let's say you've had an experience where you're no different than this girl. You had some conflict that was bullying you. Who knows? Could have been in society, could be a job, could be, you know, memories from growing up, could be parents, could be anything, right? And I went in to try to see how I could help you. And so I actually spent some time with you and told you to be strong. And told you not to fall apart. Because that's all I knew what to do at the time. And maybe I'm making this video for you. You see? And so somebody could have cared about you at that time. And somebody could care about, you know, the world today too. And all the people going through something like this. So yeah. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for being a part of this experience with me. Hope you enjoyed the message. If you'd like to do a session with me, you can book a session at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I'm also on Patreon. I offer a new experience every single month. If you want to check out what I'm doing this month, you can go to patreon.com/abbeynormalswisdomquest. Links will be in the description. Have an awesome day.